What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical, average American here today to react to this video all about how the United States really isn't doing that great, and how it would be really, really good if right about now Canadians would start traveling here again, please. Well, to be honest, that certainly doesn't look likely to change anytime soon. So today, I want to check out this video talking about this situation that we've put ourselves in here in the United States, where Canadian tourism is way down. And also just talking about what things are looking like going into the future for the United States and Canada. So let's take a look.
I'm just going to come right out and say it. The Canada-US relationship isn't great right now.
Donald
Oh, wow. Breaking news. Breaking news. Wow, that's you're just going to come out and say it? Wow, very edgy journalism right there. Yes. That is extremely apparent to a lot of people, I would say. The Canada-US relationship has not been good for the better part of a year now, unfortunately.
I'm just going to come right out and say it. The Canada-US relationship isn't great right now.
Donald Trump declaring on social media that he's officially called off trade talks with Canada.
Our relationship with the United
Yeah, and we literally live in a world, in a time where, like, Donald Trump announcing, like, all trade with Canada is canceled and all these, like, huge policy decisions. He literally just posts this on, like, Twitter and Truth Social or whatever. Like, that's the time we're living in. That's where the big announcements like this that, like, really affect a lot of people. Like, I don't know. I just think that's kind of strange. Maybe funny if it wasn't so, like, consequential and real.
States will never again be the same as it was.
The relationship between its people isn't great. From the very top, Donald Trump, Mark Carney, this icy toast immediately after Trump recently called off trade talks. But right down
Whoa, I didn't see this. What is this? The icy toast. The icy Canadian winter toast. Look at it. What's he doing? What's that look? Jeez. What the great negotiator, the great ambassador of the US. He looks like he's trying to, like, shoot laser beams out of his eyes or something, or what is I didn't know about this weird toast to Mark Carney right after the trade talks were kind of put on the back burner, I guess.
talks, but right down to regular people like you and me. And I especially mean that if you're Canadian like me. Because look at these bars, round trip car trips by Canadians
Wow.
to the US. Those are COVID numbers over there. You kind of expect those to be low, but 2025, year one of Trump term 2, that's a massive cliff.
Wow. Yeah, that's literally less than 2022 when we were just starting to, like, exit the pandemic. Global pandemic. We're doing worse than that in terms of, like, Canadian travelers to the US. That puts it into perspective for sure. I actually think a lot more Americans need to see, like, data like this to really, like, understand how significant and real this is.
The latest data showing a more than 30% drop in traffic.
With everything going on in the U.S., I feel like a lot of Canadians kind of want to stay home.
Won't be going to the U.S.
No. We're not going to America. We're not spending our money there. It's Canada
Wow.
first, baby.
Every tally and projection I've seen for 2025 is that the U.S. economy will lose billions of dollars in tourist revenue. And what's more, the fundamental way we see travel here in Canada, is that something we do down south or within our own borders? That's been upended.
Wow, so much to dissect here, so much to say. For one thing, now that like some time has gone by, certainly like a lot of people who are wondering how this whole tariff thing would work out, like we can all kind of see, even if tariffs are generating any kind of revenue for the United States, that is being offset by the immense tourism revenue that we're now losing out on. And on top of that, if if the tariffs and the tourism are kind of canceling each other out, vaguely speaking, you cannot put a price on the damage to the United States reputation. And this is just like 1 year of data. We have no idea how like the repercussions to the United States moving into the future for years to come, you know? So, I don't know. You just can't overstate how incredibly bad of an idea this was.
Let me show you how, and the way that's making some Americans real worried.
California.
It's like he looked right into my soul right there, and he's like, this news guy who's like, and I think this is making some Americans kind of worried. Like, yes, yes, I feel very seen right now. Thank you.
Just wouldn't be California without Canada. Thank you, Canada.
Huh. So, American states are putting out like advertisements trying to get Canadians to come back.
What do you say to Canadians that don't want to go to the U.S. now because of your 51st state talk, because of the trade war, the tariffs?
Yeah,
and
well,
fear
I
of
understand
local
it. Look, I
Canadians
understand
being
that. It's something that will get worked out. There's still great love between the two countries.
Yeah, so
What the heck? What? I actually hadn't seen that clip either of, like the president, Donald Trump of the United States, actually being like he had to respond directly to, like, that's a very good question. So I didn't know someone asked it like that bluntly. What do you say to Canadians who don't want to come here anymore? And he literally said, I'm aware of it. So he's aware of it. Like he's aware and kind of acknowledging that it, like, if you're aware of it, you're acknowledging like it's a negative statement. It's a negative thing that's happening to the United States. It's not good and a direct consequence of his policy decisions. And he just says, I'm aware of it and we're working on it. Like, how many months has it been now? What do you mean we're working on it? What are we? That's frustrating, to say the least, to hear like we're working on it. We're like half the time we're literally all sitting in limbo because Trump tweeted something random at 1 a.m. like, trade with Canada is canceled again, I decided. Updates when I flush the toilet. Like, it's frustrating. I know it's frustrating for other countries who have to deal with Donald Trump and like negotiate and like, leaders of other countries, but it's also frustrating as an American citizen to like have so little clarity on my own country's policy decisions.
Worked out. There's still great love between the two countries.
yeah,
Is there? Yeah, I mean, I would say like the bond between Canada and America is just that long and strong for so long that there is always going to be that bond. But I don't know if there's like a ton of that's a little ambitious to say there's a ton of love going on right now.
so maybe not. Let's talk about the Canada-US border. In April, new rules kicked in, where if you're a Canadian staying longer than 29 days in the US, you need to register your presence with the US government. That means getting photographed and fingerprinted.
So when Canadians visit the United States, you normally can like, from what I know, you can like travel in the US for up to 6 months out of a year, I think. But if we're talking about one stretch of time, one visit, now, if it's over 29 days, you got to go through all these hoops and So it used to be that Canadians could come travel in the US for over a month and it wasn't a big deal and you didn't have to do extra paperwork or extra filing, and which is really great and really facilitates like an easy tourism relationship between our countries. But now, like seemingly for no reason, this is extremely annoying. You have to get what, fingerprinted? They said you got your picture taken, fingerprints, like you're a criminal. This is obviously going to stop a lot of Canadians from who would have traveled in the US for over 29 days. Those are like Canadians who obviously have a lot of things they want to do here or a lot of ties here. So we're actually hurting those who might have the strongest ties to the US for so many reasons. This is such a baffling policy.
For some, that's no big deal. A recent Angus Reid poll suggested somewhere up to a third of Canadians are relatively unbothered by any of that. But
Okay.
the other 2/3, somewhere between concerned and this feels invasive.
I'd be bothered. I don't know what Canada's policy is, but if I found out that Canada suddenly wanted, like, if American travelers to be fingerprinted, to have their picture taken, to file all these different documents or whatever for visiting Canada, whereas in the past you didn't have to do any of that. Now, of all times, now we're doing this? What other way is there to take that? Like, that's not coincidence that this is a new US policy put into effect now as tensions between the US and Canada are like at an all-time high. That doesn't seem like a coincidence. It feels like a slap in the face.
I felt ambushed because it happened so quickly, and I was not given a choice to have the picture taken.
I don't like it. I don't like that they're taking so much information from us. It's a
Sure.
little unnerving. I think
Sure. It just like, I don't know, it's like it's not the end of the world. It's more of like just a gesture of bad faith, really. Like, I don't know. That's really dumb, for lack of a better word.
everything he's doing is kind of helping to decrease travel from and to the United States.
Yeah.
I think it is significant. You've got people
Yeah.
that are regular travelers saying that this is a big deal to them. They feel concerned. If you're already feeling some anxiety about crossing over the border, this isn't going to help that. You know, having to be fingerprinted and
Yeah.
put into a registry is not likely to make
Yeah.
people more likely to want to travel there.
No kidding. Exactly.
Check out the latest travel data we're getting from both sides of the border. This line here, those are Canadian round-trip car trips to the US for all of last year, month by month. But
Okay.
here's what 2025 looked like, starting in January with Trump's inaugural take on Canada.
Canada should be a 51st state. Canada's very bad abuser. Canada's been ripping us off for a long time. Without the U.S., Canada really doesn't have a country.
It's like torture. It's like they got me strapped to the electric chair. It's the same thing as Trump spouting all that nonsense. Like, oh, make it stop. Just put an end to it. Oh my goodness. And yeah, you got all those clips of all the crazy things he said about Canada and the 51st state stuff. And you can literally trace like a trend line, like the data here, year over year to show the effect of those words. Yeah. Those have consequences. Yeah.
Over a year, we've now seen 10 straight months of decline, totaling millions fewer trips to the US in 2025 alone.
And it's like, it's so frustrating because I know for a lot of American businesses, especially from what I understand, American businesses that are really far north, closer to the Canadian border, like American businesses that really depend on Canadian tourism and Canadians spending money there. And there's a lot of American businesses and American business owners who are really suffering in a very real way. Like Trump, I guess what I'm saying is it is so incredibly annoying to think that Trump spouting random nonsense about 51st state things into a microphone literally has ruined people's jobs and businesses and their whole lives. Like, there are people out there that have 100% that has happened to them as a consequence of this. That is so, ugh. I mean, it's horrible to think about.
Because of Trump, I'm not going to travel to the States.
It's going to be a while before we ever decide to do anything in the U.S.
Wow.
And it's not just the land border Canadians are staying away from. Air travel is the same way. This first line, Canadian return trips from the U.S. by plane for all of 2024. And then you see in 2025, January to October, drops once again in every single month. Travel to and from the U.S. clearly down.
I mean, it is irrefutable evidence that Canadian tourism is down. Like, it's literally because of Donald Trump. Like, so it really begs the question, will any of this get better? Well, for one, if the US and Canada have some kind of big formal trade deal, I don't know. I honestly, from what I can assess, I would think it would really take 3 more years. It will take Donald Trump getting out of office for Canadians, for a lot of Canadians to want to come back here. And even then, like, that's just speculation. You know, I don't even know. Like I was saying earlier, the long-lasting damage, the ramifications of this are unbelievable, really.
Year over year. And mind you, this is at a time when Canadian travel overseas is consistently up year over year. So this is a costly problem for America. The latest projection from the U.S. Travel Association is that their economy will be down nearly $6 billion in tourist revenue compared to last year, driven primarily by the fact that so many Canadians just aren't coming.
Yeah. We miss you. We miss you.
Now, just so we don't risk blowing this out of proportion, when it comes to America's economy as a whole, tourism and travel is just one piece of the puzzle, right?
Sure.
Because consider juggernaut industries like finance and real estate, professional services like law, consulting, marketing. There's government work, the entire manufacturing sector. All of those dwarf travel and tourism, which is mostly in this bucket right here, but even then, only a part of what's listed there. So I most often see tourism as being responsible for around 3% of US GDP. But 3% of $30 trillion is still almost $1 trillion. And
I was just about to say, like, I know we're not talking about the biggest sector of money or finance in the United States, but I don't care if it's 1% or it's 3%. 3% of the United States economy is unbelievable.
Indirectly, maybe there are a couple trillion more in economic spin-offs. So that's a lot of livelihoods on the line.
Yes.
You are looking at a multi-billion-dollar industry. Literally, about 1 out of 12 American jobs are...
Yes, it's like, this is a huge problem. Maybe it's not like like they're trying to argue, it's not like the worst possible thing that could happen. That's terrible. Like, what? We're only supposed to care about things if it's the literal worst possible thing that could happen? No! This is really, really bad and deserves attention. And 3% of the American GDP is going to harm so many innocent Americans. And it's all based on, that's incredibly disturbing. And what's most disturbing is these people's lives are being upended and ruined because of random tweets about far out, fantastical, whatever crazy thoughts about Canada being taken over or voluntarily becoming the 51st state or whatever. It's nonsense. So I guess at the end of the day, what I'm saying is there is some amount of people in the United States, American citizens, whose lives are being ruined because of nonsense. And that's bad. I don't think that should take any, you shouldn't have to really rack your brain to think that's bad.
Related to travel and tourism.
And Canada is a key part of that. While most travelers within the U.S. are American, Canada is the single biggest outside source of visitors.
Right.
Just over a quarter of all international visitors to the U.S. come from Canada. together with Mexico. That's more travel to the U.S. than all other countries combined.
Wow.
It's our largest international market. You're not just talking about, an on-the-surface economic impact loss of visitor spending. You're talking lost tax revenue to the states and communities.
I think this is really underrated. I think a lot of Americans really don't even understand like how important Canadian travel is here and how substantial it is. I just think a lot of Americans don't even know.
Communities, you're also looking at job losses potentially, especially in our border communities. There's a lot of jobs dependent upon that cross-border tourism.
But the projection down the road from the U.S. Travel Association that even with big draws like the FIFA World Cup and America 250 celebrations next year, Canadian travel won't.
Right? Come on. Don't you wanna come down to the America 250 anniversary, right? Canadians, right? Come on. Doesn't that sound great for you?
Recover to pre-COVID or even pre-Trump levels for another 5 years.
We have seen a 50% decline in our Canadian members.
We just had a large festival last weekend, and 50 or 60 of the ticket holders just did not come.
So American businesses have been doing what they can to win Canada back.
If you come from Canada with a Canadian driver's license or a passport, or you use that goofily delightful Canadian accent,
Goofily delightful? Is that a compliment? What do Canadians think about that when we... For one thing, let's be clear what's going on here. American businesses are starting to like beg Canadians to come back and spend your money here. We're calling... Is it endearing when we call you goofily delightful or whatever it was? That's funny.
we'll give you a 30% discount.
Figure.
Okay, you know what? Call me goofily whatever the heck you want. 30% discount sounds pretty good.
The top destinations for Canadians are New York, Washington, Florida, and California. From those states, we've seen ad campaigns specifically targeting those Canadians they can't afford to lose.
Oh, wow.
From New York, just an hour outside of Montreal.
To our neighbors in Quebec, we know travel choices can be complicated. But if you're looking for a getaway that still feels like home, Plattsburgh and the Adirondack Coast are here for you.
From California, an ad that almost sounds more like an apology than an invitation.
Without you, we wouldn't be as beautiful. And we wouldn't be as full-bodied.
Oh, wow.
Or delicious.
Oh, wow.
And that message...
What do Canadians, what do you get out of this? What do you think about this? Is this like, you kind of like nod your head like, yeah, you better beg. And joking aside, does this work? Like, do Canadians watch this stuff and you're like, I could go to the US and for the 250th anniversary, I could see a giant, float of Trump's head going down the parade, or go to California for sushi or whatever it is. Does this stuff actually work?
It comes right from the top.
The Golden State and Canada have always shared so much in common. Sure, you know who's trying to stir things up back in D.C., but don't let that ruin your beach plans.
It's like this very intentional effort to say, Canada, we're not Trump's America.
California, it's the ultimate playground, 2,000 miles from Washington and a world away in mindset. Because here in California, we've got plenty of sunshine and a whole lot of love for our...
I could actually see this messaging maybe making a difference, especially for Canadians who are just hate Trump more than anything, but still want to maybe enjoy the warm beaches of California. Hearing this from the governor of California, that it's a safe place or for Canadians, or actually I could maybe see that kind of working.
Neighbors up north.
But there's a problem here, because all of these ads I've just shown you are from months ago. If they're having an impact, I don't know if I'm seeing it. And that might be because American cities and states, they're not just up against this monumental push effect of Donald Trump on Canadians, steering them away. They're also contending with the pull of a country that, for Trump's entire second term, has been trying to get its own people to stay.
And now...
Oh. Wow. So these ads are old, for one thing, and the data shows that it hasn't really made a difference. So there goes that theory. We're trying to beg Canadians to come back. But within Canada, you guys are trying to get each other to stay? Or the government is? Or what is this?
And now is also the time to choose Canada. It might mean changing your summer vacation plans to stay here in Canada and explore the many national and provincial parks, historical sites, and tourist destinations our great country has to offer.
Oh, wow.
Being our own best customer will put more of every public dollar back into our economy.
And this...
Okay. Yeah, I've not thought about this at all. Interesting. So in Canada, I mean, literally the government, literally the prime minister is like saying, like, spend your money here, travel here. Does that work? Does that messaging work? I would think to some extent. And the other thing is, like, if Canadians want to, you know, travel outside of Canada, go somewhere like warm or fun or whatever, somewhere else, somewhere new or different, there are other places besides the United States. I think that is one of the big things that the US really doesn't realize, because we are so insulated here. We are in such a bubble here. A lot of Americans are trapped in this way of thinking where it's like, well, the United States is basically the entire world, right? Like, what else is there even? And it's so incredibly stupid and sort of egotistical, really. There's a lot of other places Canadians can go to.
And this appears to line up with how Canadians feel. According to an Angus Reid survey, standing up for Canada was a top reason Canadians gave for why they're planning to travel to the US less.
Wow.
And when asked, so then, where are you going instead? Tied for the #1 answer was travel within Canada.
Wow.
So 87% of those travelers say that they'll find somewhere else to go, and Canada is tied for the top destination alongside just other destinations outside of North America.
And this makes so much sense to me. How can Americans even be mad at this? You can't. Like, I've said this before. If Canada did to the US what the US is doing to Canada, this is absolutely how Americans would react. So I totally understand. I don't know, in many ways, I even support it for Canadians. If it wasn't directly hurting me and America, that's the only bad thing about that.
This week we were planning on going, but we decided to make a different decision. Stand up for Canada. You know, they're poking us in the eye, so we got to poke them back.
The Canadian government has seized on this, introducing discounts on attractions that are federally owned or managed. So that means free admission to certain national parks. Same goes for some museums in Ottawa, Quebec, and beyond. Children can even travel for free on Via Rail.
Oh, wow.
And all year, we've...
Rail? You guys have rail? Like trains? Wow. That's just so, like, not what we have here.
Seen proof that more and more Canadians don't want to visit the US. Early this year, Canadian domestic travel up. Money spent up even more. Then later in the year, over the summer, an even bigger spike, billions of dollars more flowing within the Canadian economy. Canadian Airbnb bookings within Canada up in a big way. Growth in almost every single province and territory, and really big growth at that.
So on top of this, I mean, this is such a fantastic argument for why Canadians should travel in Canada and spend your money in Canada. It's hurting the US, which a lot of Canadians are probably taking pleasure in doing right now. And it is literally helping Canada. So it's two things that a lot of Canadians want to do.
It's going to continue if we don't see a significant change in American politics with respect to Canada, but also within the United States as well.
Americans are hoping this is just a hiccup, but if this becomes a longer-term event, you're looking at the loss of billions of dollars of potential tourism revenue in the future.
What this all adds up to is bad news for the U.S. economy. Not make or break on a national level, but certainly a pain point on a local level. And suffer enough of those over a long enough period. that's when this becomes about more than just the dollars and cents.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. It's a good way to put it. Good way to end it. This situation, what's happening here, Americans really aren't realizing what a big deal this is, and I don't think that we will until it's way too late. And this is a big problem. Again, maybe not like the biggest possible problem America could have, but it's a huge problem that's going to be sustained over a very long period of time by the look of it. And it's hurting a lot of Americans. Yeah, and it's all based on a bunch of really bad policy decisions and public statements, and it's really unfortunate to see. But this was a really quite a good video, and actually educated me on quite a few things going on between the U.S. and Canada. And unfortunately, the outlook is currently looking quite bad, and the future for the U.S. is still looking quite bad. So I don't quite know where we're going from here. But it's always good to stay educated about what's going on, and I think more Americans need to do that. So I'm glad I took a look at this. Anyway, if you enjoyed this as well, feel free to give this video a like or leave a comment with your thoughts on all these different things going on between the US and Canada, and that'd be really cool to hear about. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canada and seeing Canadian things I've never seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.